Oh, baby. I mean, I know that you're here with me and everything, but since you just left a few hours ago, I've just been going crazy. And I done come to realize one thing. Oh, baby, I miss you. On calling me, and I just need a hit of your love. It's got me shaking and feeling for your touch, baby. Of you I can't get enough. It feels like I done need on you, babe. I'm addicted for you. Can't stop loving, 'cause I can't get enough of you, babe. 'Cause I'm so addicted to you. This must be love. 'Cause I can't get enough of your loving. I'm so addicted for you. Can't stop. I need you right now, baby. 'Cause I'm so addicted to you. You're always on my mind, my mind, my mind, every day. It's been too long since I had you in my arms. And I don't know if I can take any more of being without you. Even though it's only been an hour, it feels to me just like forever. And I am hoping that I can see you soon. See you soon. I'm so addicted. Lord have mercy. I can't be without you, baby. 'Cause I'm so addicted. Oh no, not for a minute, not for an hour. I can't get enough. I'm so addicted. Can't stop loving you. I need to check myself into some kind of rehab. 'Cause I need some help. Somebody help me, please. Please. Ooh. La 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 la. I need to testify this evening. Oh Lord, have you ever loved somebody so much that you just can't get them off your mind? Oh, I'm so addicted. Oh Lord, 'cause I can't stop loving you, my baby. Oh darling, I love you, I love you. This must be love. I've been overdosed on your loving. we met, a Thursday night at the club I'll never forget. Do you remember the words that I said? One night in my bed you'll never regret. And you, with your pretty brown eyes, I knew, baby, you would change my life. And you opened up my eyes to see I'm excited for our future, but I love our history. Let's throw back to the day that we first met. Let's throw back, I never will forget. Let's throw back to when we fell in love. Let's throw back, babe, I wanna throw back, babe. Is it just me? Don't you miss those nights sexing on the beach? Playing Isley Brothers in between the sheets. And now we're taking flights from London to Belize. And we're popping bottles, endless shopping sprees. Still sexy as can be. I knew you're still the only one for me. Yeah. I'm feeling lucky as can be. I'm excited for our future, but I love our history. Let's throw back. I really wanna know. Let's throw back. Let's go back. Let's throw back. Let's go. I wanna throw back. Oh, come on now. We were making love to the first time we let's reminisce of the whip. Making love, come on now. Let's throw back. Oh, all I wanna do is throw it back. That's all I wanna do. Come on now. Let's throw back, babe. I wanna throw back, babe. Let's throw back, everybody. Let's throw back. If you love somebody, let's throw back. Talk about the love.
WIFTBPM.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Man, Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case, he was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, hip-hopping over here, B-Boy Todd Stroger and his St. Ignatius quarter zip. What's up, Todd? I see you getting your B-boy head nod on right now.
Welcome back, Maze, because, Ruthie was a hard taskmaster doing the show.
Whoa, I saw that. First of all, let me just tell y'all, in case y'all missed it, shout out to Ruthie Moore, Todd Stroger, and Lil Ron for holding it down for Book of Dawn last week. As y'all know, our
our big sis. Well, I don't know if I call her my big sis. I think we like Twin Peaks. So I'm gonna just say my sis Dawn lost her mother-in-law, and so last week Ruthie and Todd and Lil Ron filled in admirably in her stead. Yeah, that was a pretty interesting show. That intergenerational.
Did we do a good
dialogue.
job?
I thought y'all did a great job. Actually, I was thinking like.
I thought it was good. I got some good feedback too. People enjoyed the diverse perspectives.
You get to watch that, man. You know what? It's like listening to the diverse perspectives. Even though I think Ron and Ruthie are crazy.
Crazy like a fox.
Yeah.
I do think that more conversations like that need to happen. And I think Ruthel. I think we're gonna have you spearhead some more of those. I think that even if it's not every, but you know I can't afford you every day again. Well, actually, I could double your pay. But I do think that what we do need to do, I think you're a great facilitator of those conversations. And so I think maybe one of the things I think we need to do is probably host some more of those intergenerational dialogues, mix up the cast of characters, because I'm going to tell you, people would really get a lot. I learned a lot in that conversation.
Me too. And check this out. If we actually sit down and like plan it, think about how much better it will be, Todd and Ron.
Mm-hmm.
And then, May's going to say, let me see what y'all going to do.
Let me see y'all.
He going to have to try to twerk it, tweak it.
Twerk it.
My bad. I had a long weekend. I had a long weekend.
Was you twerking?
Twerking for the culture.
Ruthie was twerking for the culture. All right, so we got Todd in this 3/4 zip from St. Ignatius, Wolfpack since 1869. So is that like one of those white shoe schools too? I guess it would be considered that.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's a few other schools out there like this. I guess so.
Yeah, but they might be Chicago's flagship white shoe school.
I need St. Ignatius to give Todd something because he be repping for St. Ignatius at least
I
3 times a week.
I wanted to give him the Daniel Murphy scholarship.
What's that?
That's the free tuition. You know who you need to hook up? We need to get you with
Who that?
Jonathan Swain.
Oh, is Jonathan on the board or something now?
Jonathan is not on the board, but Jonathan Swain is with Lynx, and they get kids
Lynx Unlimited.
scholarships to Catholic schools, to private schools. We got to do
We
that.
had a bunch of Lynx people in my.
I need to get a Lynx. I need a
Oh,
Lynx
the class ahead
scholarship
of
too, man. That junk is expensive. All right, Ruthie Moore.
Hey, Ruthie got on her Tamara Dobson, Cleopatra Jones outfit today.
What's
Who
that
is
mean?
that?
I thought it was, when I see all those links, I was like, that's some rich people stuff. You got on.
No, I wish.
What's up, Ruthie? What you on? You must got to work today.
No, actually, I just picked my clothes out last night because I said it's Monday. So let me try.
Let me try to sleep as long as I can.
No, let me try to match my browns up.
Okay, all right, I see. You got your blend going on. All right.
I tried.
All right, Lil Ron, you know what? Lil Ron, Sonia's gonna be gone, so Lil Ron will be sitting in with us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We will not be here Friday.
Ron Rilla.
Ron Rilla, how you feeling, man? You can talk on the mic for a minute, man.
I'm feeling good this morning. Good morning, y'all.
Yeah,
Good
you
morning.
see, you got that millennial wake up, Dad. How you doing? Your eyes halfway open.
It's still a little early.
It's a little early because you was out. You know, I'm gonna tell you. Remember when you was Lil Ron age? You'd be like, well, you can't do it now because of the corona. But you know, you have to be at work at 4. You be looking at the clock like, ooh, if I go to bed at 1, I could get 2, 3. Them 2 hours seem like they could be forever till you lay down and wake up again. Did you do that when you was a kid, trying to get out? Like if you had to be somewhere early, like say you had to work at 8 o'clock, but then the club, you probably didn't. The club would be open till 4, so you'd be like, ooh, if I stay till 3:45,
No,
and
you're
then
right.
I
I
get
didn't.
home by 4:30, I could sleep till 7:09, and then I could make it to work. Y'all ever do that?
Maze, I had one 8 a.m. class, and I said never again.
Man, do you remember when you went to college and you thought 8 a.m. was like a late class?
No, that was early.
No, when you
That was
first.
really early.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
I was
before,
thinking
right.
like when when I went to high school, we
Oh,
had
I
to
see
be
what
there
you're
at 7:15. So you were like, oh, I'm gonna take me at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, thinking you doing something. Man, the first week of college, you was like, oh, this was not a
stupid.
smart move.
I said I was gonna be done with my day early.
I said I'd be done by 12 o'clock so I can watch all my children. That's what I used to say.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like, you know what? I'm not going to start till all my children go off. That's what this option is for. All right, y'all. It looks like we locked and loaded. We got
Wait,
everybody in
Maze,
here.
you good?
You know what, Ruthie? I'm good. I'm good. You see, I got my Christmas clothes on.
Oh.
This is Christmas outfit. I got you know what? My wife took my my desire for turtlenecks.
That's his Will Smith outfit.
Well, I'm
Now
gonna be
this is
check this. I'm gonna
story.
be working variations of this because you know, once I get something that I like, I just like to get all the colors.
Very nice
So don't
quality.
be surprised. I might be like,
Is this a wool blend?
this is actually a wool
Cashmere?
cashmere blend.
I can
ain't
tell.
fooling around.
I can tell.
A little Merlin, you know, just that's so you don't get the little beads.
Merlin, I thought that was a wizard.
It's the wizard that keeps the little beady beads off your sweater. You know what I'm saying? It's
Merlin.
different. It's different spins of wool, right? So
Okay,
you try to get the.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Hey, don't be making fun of me. All right, y'all, it's the Mace Jackson Show. Let's get this thing up to 60,000 feet. Look at Ron! And now we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Give us some music, Ron. We're going to come back with some music.
WIFTBPM.
You know, I walk by the stairs.
You better be careful, baby, be careful. This is a baby making tone. Better be careful what your radio on. This is a baby making tone. Better be careful what your radio on. You let down your hair when you're feeling sexy. You bite on your lip when you're holding your tongue. You uncross your legs, yeah, without even speaking. Your body is screaming. You wanna make love. I can hear your body language. You ain't said a word, but I know what you feel. 'Cause I can hear your body language. Saying, come on, it's on. The message is clear. Let me pause, babe. You look so good. Together, my thoughts, make sure I'm hearing you right. Baby, slow my bed. If I am mistaken, 'cause love will be making. I can see it in your eyes. I'm watching every move you make. Yeah, don't go too fast and don't be late. Oh no, all the time you need to take. That's what it's saying. That's what you're saying, baby. You know me when you're ready to go. I'll be ready. Once for yes and twice for no. Brush up against me nice and slow. Real slow. Nobody's saying it's about to explode. About to explode.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Let it hit that. Stop. What are you doing? You are listening to the Maze Jet. You got to come back with some music. It's got to be intro. It's like, this is whistling for the black people. You're listening to the Maze. No, that's always. Hey, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. And the plane is flying lopsided right now because Lil Ron did not give me an
He a fighter
intro.
jet pilot.
Look, he fighter
Ron,
jet.
tell him you got
He
this.
can't talk on the mic.
Oh, okay.
Don't do it. Don't do it. No, don't ask. I don't read sign language. I always want an intro. I can't
Maze,
come
we the
back
red
without-
tails. Maze,
Not
we
turn-
can attest. We the red
I
tails,
know that's
bro.
why, but we still got to
No
slap the young
producing
guy
on
around.
the air.
Look, I'll
Ooh.
produce. Oh, look. So, get Sonia. She
Sonia,
probably
I heard
somewhere-
Sonia say that last week.
And do you know that Ty has an internal brake clock for like the
Yeah,
brakes?
I told you he was stopping you.
It
He
was
was like, yo,
I thought it was kind of amazing though.
No, I mean I think it's years of having it drilled into your head, right? And then it's like, then they used to say, could you control that, Maze Jackson? He'd be like, I'll try and rein
No,
it in.
without structure, there is.
Chaos.
Thank you.
Which is a ladder.
A ladder.
Freedom.
Chaos is a ladder.
Yeah, if you don't get killed.
Yeah, but that's why you got to be adept. All right, y'all, let me run through some of these headlines real quick. Shout out to President Trump for signing the stimulus bill, even though he tried to get y'all $2,000. Boy, he is going to stick it to. He almost single-handedly tanked the Republicans' chance to
win Georgia.
Win Georgia. But Mitch McConnell finally came around and was like, "Thank you, President Trump." You know that Mitch McConnell on the black hand side. Have you seen his black hand?
No.
Excuse me. Mitch McConnell has a black hand. Literally, one of his hands is black.
Really?
It's like, yeah.
What happened to it?
Google Mitch McConnell's black hand. We don't know.
He wasn't in the
They
war?
was like, black people be like, it's Satan. They be like, that's the Lord done cursed you. They be putting that color purple on you. His hand is literally black.
He's not Bob Dole.
His jeans are coming out. You know what I'm saying? He turning back black. All right,
you know that old saying, you know why white people don't shake their tree?
Why?
Because a black person might fall out.
Oh! All right. Did you see the mayor agrees to meet with Anjanette Young?
Oh.
In private and public. Anjanette, she said she wants to meet with her in private, but Anjanette said, I'll meet with you in private, then in public. I think Anjanette Young should go Facebook Live once the mayor's there. She should be like, pardon me, and put the live on the camera, because I'm telling you, that's where the bag goes. That's where the offer goes. She's going to be like, would you like to be the supreme leader of our task force on violence against black women? It pays $200,000 a year. All you have to do is just shut the hell up.
Come on, Maze. She's black.
Oh, she's like, $50,000.
It won't pay nothing.
Oh, it won't pay nothing. I want you to be on the honorary.
We will pay for your lunch.
See, that's how, that woman's lunch. Oh, keep my promo up too. That's once an hour at least. Matter of fact, twice an hour. All right. 1,000 women march yesterday. So that it was the precursor to the. So let me just.
Ruthie.
Were you part of the one?
No, okay. I wasn't there.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about this a little bit later so first of all, shout out to the women that marched. I have some thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I am a little concerned. So I'm okay.
Women organizing?
Nah, they already organized. I'll be worried when a bunch of first of all, I noticed that there were no pink hats out there.
Okay.
First of all. Second of all, I noticed that my good friend, a good friend of mine, called me the day this thing happened and said, I'd like to do 1,000 women march. And she called around and she was organizing quite a few people to do it. And then all of a sudden yesterday or later on in the week, I saw 1,000 women march. And so I called my friend to find out if it was the same 1,000 women march, and it wasn't.
You said it was not?
No, it was not. And so what was yesterday? Kuji Kagalinga? What is it? Which one was yesterday? Where it's unity?
Yeah.
Okay. Kuji Jajalinga. So I was gonna comment yesterday, but I did not because I want to be unified. And so I'm not gonna trip on what happened yesterday, but I do want to be careful. I want black people and black women particularly to be careful that you are not co-opted and that you are not marching in the mayor's march against everybody else instead of her. And so I just want to point that out. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. But one of the key moves that I saw was that there's a... So what I'm saying is I think that when I saw who was marching and when you saw the politicians start to mix into it, who haven't been with it, then I knew that it was an organized march. And when I say an organized march, somebody said, okay, let's organize this so that let's guide the missiles, if that makes sense. Now, I told you there's Scud missiles and then there's guided missiles. Well, I think that some people are smart enough. There's a play right now to be the new, for lack of a better description, Desiree Tate. Okay? And for those of you that understand, respectfully, there is respectful. I mean that in the most respectful way, which is the black woman that can organize black women in the face of adversity for the powers that be.
Oh, okay.
And so there is a battle for that spot internally and externally. Now, externally, I think that there is righteous outrage by the by the black community activists. But I think right now, somebody is bidding to be the black Negro conjurer in this situation. There is no more Leon Finney, right? There are no more of the black people who we knew traditionally who could jump in front of these things and mobilize black people to diverge us. And so there is right now a battle for that spot in the hierarchy, in the internal. Now, I want to say that there's other marches that are happening, particularly you'll be seeing me share one from a sister that I know that was putting this thing on from the day one, and I noticed that she kind of got kicked to the curb in that mix yesterday, because when the cameras come, you know how it goes. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Why are you making, am I telling too much? Okay, I won't tell y'all. I'll leave it alone.
I just have strong feelings about who gets to be the leaders within the black community, how we choose those leaders, who then decides if they're doing a good job.
They're
and what
deciding.
does that look like?
Well, what I'm saying is the smart politician decides the leader and inserts them. And I think it's happening as we speak. But I'm just going to say, if I see your number one captain in the march, then I know that this march that's at the forefront of the march, and ain't nobody calling you on all the stuff that happened. We're going to talk about this, but I really want to leave it alone because I'm really trying to be Kujijajalinga. But good God, man. It's like, as a practitioner of the dark arts, when you see it going, you just be like, God, y'all going to do it again? All right, domestic terrorism outbreaks, one in Nashville, one in Rockford, Illinois. The explosion in Nashville, which seems to be being downplayed tremendously to me. But I think it was very strategic when you read the article, it was strategic, and it crippled communications between police, cell phone service, and emergency responders. I felt like that was the classic lone wolf attack that, yikes, I'm just going to say that. And then the Rockford Green Beret that came up and killed 3 people randomly in Rockford. Y'all,
I think mass shooting?
Yes.
Have you seen it referred to as a mass shooting?
No.
Me either.
Oops, sorry. 1,335 carjackings. I just need to tell you, police calls on carjackings. The city is in a state of anarchy. I don't care what y'all say.
What are they doing with these cars? What y'all think? Are they scrapping them, or are they doing drive-bys?
Some of everything.
Joyriding?
Some of everything. I think it's some
That's
of everything.
a lot of carjackings.
It's the system. It's the system, dang it.
In the old days, if you stole a car, you take it and they chop it up.
In pieces.
That's why they steal the popular cars, because they have a.
You think they still chopping them up?
Sometimes. But I also think that like I told you before, the police. That's why they still in the charges, because the police can't chase them anymore. Cops in Anjanette Young, we've come to find out. Let me just point out that the mayor. So as she was chastising that woman initially, and I want that promo next. As she was chastising that woman initially, and she blamed everybody else. Did you know those cops were still on the streets? And they got put on desk duty after the lawyer got fired. So let's say that she had an epic fail there, but then it turns out that one of those cops shot someone wrongfully, and they were participated in some more botched raids. So I think the key here is the mayor is going to keep trying to blame people, but she actually did nothing. The vaccine is being distributed unevenly. They are saying not very few people on the south and west side have gotten it. Duh. Meanwhile, the black elected officials are trying to sell us that they are the people we should trust when it comes to who vouches. Like, I'm just going to tell you, I find there are very few. Hold on. You tell me to take a shot, but you won't say nothing about Madigan? Y'all better, man. I'm just saying. Man, I don't even want to talk about this vaccine before I get mad. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
WIFTBPM.
Today we learned that a Kentucky state grand jury found that the officer responsible for killing Breonna Taylor. Rulings like this one set us back and come as yet another challenge to the hard work and progress we have already made. It means we fight even harder against the systems of inequality and injustice designed to keep too many of us down. We will and we must continue to say her name. We will and we must continue to demand justice. And we will and we must do everything in our power to prevent any more names from being added to this role, like George Floyd, or closer to home, Rekia Boyd, and Laquan McDonald, and too many others. I want you to know that I support you and will do everything in my power to protect you.
Regarding the CBS 2 story last night about the raid on the social worker's home, why did your administration go to court to try and prevent the body camera video from being broadcast? And why is your administration asking a federal judge to punish Miss Young for sharing video of her own home being raided?
And I watched that video. Now, this case was litigated in federal court. The federal judge put in place an order. There's allegations that she has violated that. A federal judge put rules in place. It's for that judge to determine whether or not that was appropriate. I'm not going to sit here and second guess a federal judge or how the information related to that matter was handled. That's for that judge who I know and is very competent and I'm sure will be fair in assessing.
Because COPA has not yet made a decision in 22 months on this.
I just, look, we got to fess up and we got to clean it up.
You have the wrong place. You got the wrong house. You got the wrong house.
We will and we must continue to say her name.
Should be. There's no verbal when I'm fucking about.
What's in it for the black people? Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to last, can't doze no more. I told y'all this, that dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies of the politicians. We need money, no symbolism. It's Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' start. They ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressor to solve them.
What's in it for the black people? All the lies we didn't heard before. Time to pay attention. You gotta do more than listen. Need some action with it. On the count of 3, let's go.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Miss Ruthie Moore. Sonia Escobar's not here. I was like, Sonia Escobar's not here because Lil Ron is in there. You don't look like Sonia. No. Sonia, we miss you. Man, but you got to follow Sonia's Instagram stories. So, for real, you know Sonia be walking in here like she rich than a mug. If you see her Instagram stories, you understand why. I was like, how much is that purse? Good God, woman. Good God, Escobar.
She be low key with it though.
Oh, she is. You know,
She'll match up some like some Yeezys with like an Adidas shirt.
Yes, I saw her with some Balenciaga. One day she came in straight. I was like, that coat. I saw that coat and was like, Dad, one day when I make it, I'm going to get one of them. She's like, oh, my dad loves me. I was like, stay away from my daughter. Shout out to my daughter also, Milan Jackson, who turned 21 this weekend. She turned 21 on Saturday.
Milestone.
That shows time flies.
Time flies.
Time flies. Shout out to my beautiful granddaughter, Jersey Young J, as well. Did y'all have a good Christmas?
Nicole Nichols' birthday is today.
Who was that?
Uhura.
Okay.
Star Trek.
The black girl that kissed the white man on TV.
No, she's not a black girl.
Black
She's
woman
a
who
black
kissed
woman
her.
because she's like twice as old as you, young man,
And
and,
she-
and she's from Robbins, Illinois.
Oh, okay. Respect. I ain't gonna even trip. So what'd you give for Christmas time?
Or as we like to call it, Bolingbrook South.
no, you can't. No, we have running water.
Oh!
They call
Okay, now they'll be called.
Shout out. No, let me say this. I have family that is from Robbins, and they hold Mudville down. They call it Mudville, and they have refused. My cousins could go live anywhere. They've done pretty well for themselves, and they refuse to leave Robbins, and they are like determined. Actually, one of my cousins is a councilman, city councilman. Shout out to my cousin Darren, my little cousin Ricky, Derek, Brian. He used to work here. A lot of the stuff. He gonna come try and take Lil Ron's job one of these days. I know him. All right. So.
Let's see. We got the tree up. No, I'm just kidding. We did that last week, but we had a good time. We went to church.
Oh, did you?
Okay.
I'm gonna tell. Did you go in the church?
Yeah, it was like every other row.
The kids was probably like, "Give me all the things we could do. We gotta go to church." All right, then.
Not a lot of things to do, but
you know what? I had a very good Christmas, relaxed. Shout out to my wife I literally forgot the tree.
Oh,
Like
really?
I literally Christmas literally ran up on me, and I straight up forgot about the tree. And I came home, and on the dining room, not on the dining room, on one of my dinner trays, the folding dinner trays, sat the Charlie Brown mock Christmas tree with one bulb. But it was great because it sure had a lot of presents under that mud. I'm gonna tell you, boy. So I had a great Christmas. Carrie cooked everything.
Ooh.
And I ruined the cake.
Y'all ain't got no food left?
Actually, we do.
I know you say you normally take it under the bridge, but maybe you could bring it here first.
You know what? I will bring it here. Because I'm gonna tell you, I think we are. That might have been one of the best. I feel kind of embarrassed that she beat me on the ham. Because that ham
Make you putting pop and pineapples on it.
She not pop. She put pop.
Like ginger ale or something. Yeah.
Oh, I never thought about that. No,
How you make the little glaze? The ghetto glaze.
No, that's not with no pop. We use brown sugar and water and a little seasoning, and the next thing you know, it's got a caramelized Ruthie pop. See,
somebody in the comments gonna agree. Watch
pop. I never heard.
For real,
of it.
yeah.
What, a Coca-Cola?
No, the white pop, like the clear pop, like Todd just said.
I could see pouring a Coke on it. I could see pouring a Coke.
See, you went dark.
It's my thing. I can see pouring a Coca-Cola. I used to cook my smoke my ribs in Coke.
Oh, really?
Coca-Cola.
Coke. I was gonna say, what kind of?
Hold on, Ruthie.
You gotta connect.
Not in Pembroke. All right, y'all. It's time. What you do, Ruthie? And what you get for Christmas?
I ate good. My daddy made gumbo, so it's so good. And I got gifts. I got some blankets. My mama get us blankets every year.
Well, she think y'all ain't got no heat.
I don't know. I don't know. It's
Or
just
is it
like
a
one
sale?
of those. I don't know what.
She got you so many blankets. Man, blankets take up a lot of space at the same time.
I got
I'll be
I like it. I don't
You
know.
can never have enough.
Thanks, Mom.
What was it? Seafood gumbo?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Come on now. No other way.
I want to do a boil, but I got to chill out because I realized that the shrimp get my gout going. So I got to space it out.
You got to hold back.
So I got to space it out. Yeah. Man, shout out to, she also made lobster mac and cheese. My son was like, I'm never eating that. And then he was like,
Really?
we didn't tell him.
He said, I'm never eating that.
He said, I'm not eating that. And he didn't even know it was in there. And he was like, boy, this macaroni cheese is good. He's like, it's lobster. He was like,
That's become one of Janine's specialties. Yeah.
lobster mac?
Yeah.
You know what?
Y'all like it more creamy or like more like dense and firm?
I like dense and firm. I don't
How
like
you like yours, Todd?
Somewhere in the middle of that.
Okay.
What do you like?
I think I like it creamy.
No, I don't like none of that Velveeta nothing.
Not no Velveeta, man.
And I don't like either. Like you remind me of the Chick-fil-A where it's got the crust, but then when you crack the crust, it's like good. It's like swimmy. I like my stuff like solid.
No, we don't use Velveeta. We use the cheese spread.
Cheese whiz.
Yeah, cheese whiz.
We did a knockoff of the Patty LaBelle recipe.
Oh.
So it was good. I'd always take the Velveeta out of the Patty LaBelle recipe. Straight up though, I mean, like I ate pretty well to not have cooked. Like I think really what happened is I've been suckered. I think I've been cooking. Like I just assume, you know how you just assume. Like I started out cooking as part of our dates, and I was like, "Oh, you cook? And then I was like, yeah, when we get married, I'll cook. And we never had the discussion of food again. And now I'm starting to realize she probably just be like, glad he did that, because I showed up. No, I was just like, because I really like, hey, and my son, I think I always get offended like when somebody else gets more compliments than me. My mom used to say when I was at church, I'd be like, I got the most amen, so I did the best. Right? So my son is like, boy, he just went through everything and was like, these sweet potatoes were perfect. Huh? He was like, I was like, well, they were a little crunchy. He's like, no, they were actually perfect. Then I was like, then he said, the ham, give me another. I was like, you don't even eat pork. He was like, well, that ham was really good. I was like, you know what? Then he was like, and the Bears are going to lose too. And I was like, I know it's a conspiracy. He just, you know what? But
that was after he got his gifts though, right?
Oh, man, that dude cleaned up.
That's what I'm saying. He was feeling himself. I don't blame him.
I told him he had to give it all up. I told him, you know what the worst is? Did your parents ever make you take half? Take half?
No. What kind of talk is
and
that?
Do what with the other half? Give it away? For charity?
No. I took half and said you're going to put it up. I told him I would match what he gets to make his car. So it's like I was like, this is the biggest day of the year that you're going to have the most money to invest. You're going to be able to double whatever you take in if you put it on the side of your car. Well, if you ask me for something, when do I say no? No, I never say no. So just because you got this big stack of money, let it go, put it in the bank, and you can double that. Right? And so I took half, and he looked at me, and then I said, okay, would you rather have, when are you going to, it's a pandemic, you ain't got no money to spend. When you going to spend this $300? Now, what if I told you this $300?
Uber Eats?
But if I told you could have $300 now, if you waited 6 months, this would be $600. Mm-hmm. Right? When are you going to make that much money that quick without?
Well, I think you should show him what interest rates and compound interest looks like, so he can see just how good of
where we getting compounded?
No. I'm saying just so he can see how his money doubling like that is not the norm. So he can I think he will appreciate it more if you show him actually how little your money grows.
Okay, I'll do that.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't wait till your daughter gets married because I'm gonna ask you for a big gift.
I did my daughter like that. I left one time. I told my daughter for a whole year. I said, save your money. I said, well, I'm not gonna sweat you. Put half away. Put half away. Put half away. Put half away. Putting half away. Yep. Putting half away. Yep. Putting half away. Yep. Christmas came. Gave her a Christmas card. Put a $50 bill in it. I said, your Christmas present is either this $50 or I'll double whatever you got in the bank that I told you to save.
Oh.
Guess what she did?
What?
Took the 50.
Oh,
because she didn't save the money.
She wasn't really
She wasn't saving the money, and it was like, boy, look, and you like my son. I think my son remembered that because it was. I mean, to get $50 in an envelope for Christmas around our house, that's like a failure, right? Like you failed for Christmas.
I'm sure I could see all the air just going out of her.
They're like, no, she's my daughter, so she was just gonna be like, I ain't want it no way. All right, y'all. When we come back, we are going to ask the social media question of the day. How will the Biden administration address the outbreak of racial and domestic terrorism? We saw a bombing, explosion in Nashville. We saw a Green Beret, an active duty Green Beret, go on a mass shooting spree in Rockford. While they try to assuage us and tell us that these things are not connected, I think that they are the beginning of a series of events that have been triggered by the Trump presidency. And one of the things that I want to know is how will the Biden administration respond? I feel like this Nashville thing seems to have been so underplayed for it to have as much effect as it did. And then when I read that one line when it said it crippled the communications for cell service, emergency responders, police and fire response, something about that said there's more to this, right? And then you think about these lone wolf terrorists that we hear about all the time. I want to talk about it because I think we want to pretend like the country is sort of like, now that Joe Biden is here, it's going to be all good. I almost feel like it's about to unleash a reign of craziness. And I think race is at the base of it. And I wonder how Joe Biden will really respond as he tries to present the image of a unified America. It's the Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back.
WIIFTBPM.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Are you curious to explore the intellectual currents that channel our thoughts and frame our reality? Have you ever meditated for relaxation and accidentally discovered the universe in the process? These matters and many more you may never have even thought of will be yours to explore as you come with me into Muwakil's world. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Well, since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. But won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale. Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you find the right man who'll fix it for you. And are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? And did you have to pay that fine that you've been dodging all the time? Are you still dizzy? Oh, yeah. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Oh, stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over there?
You are listening to the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Miss Ruthie Moore, and Lil Ron on the wheels. That is Sam Trump, Valerie.
Who is Valerie?
The chick that Amy what was it? Did Amy Winehouse sing this too? Huh? All right.
Ah, okay.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you. This was Amy Winehouse's song. Man, this is a really good remix. Or not a remix, but an a cappella version. I was actually checking that Sam Trump out on YouTube this weekend. He got a nice little lineup of songs. Y'all need to check that out. All right, y'all, it's the Mace Jackson Show. How will the Biden administration address the outbreak of racial and domestic terrorism? Trump, in his wake, has clearly revived what I believe is the Old South, the spirit of the Old South in white people. And it's not just in the South, though. I think it's around the country. I think that white people who have felt marginalized, who have felt that the world has been closing in on them, found solace in President Trump. But also in that we saw extremists find a haven. We saw groups like the Proud Boys, the Boogaloo Boys, and all of those type of organizations. We saw the plot to kidnap.
I agree, because I probably would never know who those people were if he hadn't been president.
Right. I know the Ku Klux Klan and the neo-Nazis.
Right.
But now you've seen this arrival of all of these other groups. One of the things I've heard and talked about, or heard a lot about, was lone wolf groups that were connected through the internet.
Yes, Hans tells me there's no such thing as a lone wolf. On the black web, no, the dark web, not the black one.
They're going to be at Todd House. Just go.
On the dark web, he says there's people always saying they want to do something, and there's people always egging them on. And then, nowadays, one day they're like, okay, let's do it. They do something.
Okay, so I'm going to,
and there's, of course, a lot of information on how to do things on the dark web.
So that's why I'm staying off the dark web. I'm scared of the dark web. I ain't gonna even lie, man. I'm scared I'm gonna see something I don't want to see.
Yeah, I don't want to get
right.
trapped
Like
in
I don't want to see some kid in a room somewhere and a guy auction the kid off.
Okay, that's enough already.
Right. I'm just saying. I did a show with a crime guy one time, and he started describing the dark web, and I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna end this now. I don't even want to. I ain't trying to card crack, but I just don't want to see none of that stuff. All right. So my question, So we saw bits of this under Obama. Remember when the white boys out in was it Oregon, took over the federal land?
Oh yeah.
See, okay. Then we started to see these groups start to spring up, of which Donald Trump stand up. What did he say? Be prepared. Whatever he told them.
Stand down, and stand by.
All right, stand down and stand by. We also see that they are now calling for a Donald Trump inauguration on the same day that Joe Biden is. Is it a succession? Is there like an internal succession that's not the state?
Well, it's gonna be inaugurated as the king of the Sith.
Who knows? Who knows? But I'm saying that if he showed up at a rally, okay, on the same day at the same time and said that this was a farce and we're going this way, I believe that there are Trump supporters that would be lined up at that.
You know how I always say life imitates art and art imitates life. So there is a thing about Bruce Wayne's butler, Alfred Pennyworth.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I haven't watched it.
It's about a group trying to bring fascism to England.
Mm-hmm.
And Hans told me, hey, there's some truth behind that back in the 1930s or something.
This Hans is really smart to be in the cave all the time. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's because he's on that web.
Hope not the dark web, man. You better be careful when a monster come from under the bed. Go ahead.
No, that's all. That there are things going on, and like I say, everything's a circle, so you have to be careful.
And I'm starting to think that I do believe if Donald Trump said, "Let's go this way," and put a flag in your front yard, and that means you with me.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that you would see flags popping up.
I think so.
Around the country.
That'd
and
be
my
scary.
question then becomes, how is Joe Biden prepared to deal with this? See, I think these bombings, I think we're going to start to see attacks on the federal government. I don't know if they're going to be all racial, but I do believe that there is race-based in that, right? Like, I believe it's white supremacy. I don't know if it's 100% focused against black people per se. Mm-hmm. I think it's focused against
the system?
Yes, the system. Mm-hmm. The system. I often said that that Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump were the same people on the other side.
On the other ends, yeah.
On the other end, polar ends of the globe, and their people wanted to destroy the system. Trump's people they won.
Yeah.
So now, does Joe...
I think the bomber, that was just like, he was like, this can be done, see?
Right.
Y'all can knock things off.
And we could, and again...
and I hate to interrupt you, but I don't know if you... Yeah, I don't. But I don't know if you remember Project Shield. I got a lot of bad publicity about Project Shield because they were pointing the cameras the wrong way. But Project Shield was like a 3-step thing that's supposed to get the community, when I say that, I mean the county, like connected because of terrorism and such. And the first step was all about communications.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, I just watched that and was like, man, we'd be screwed. Like, what happens if your cell phone doesn't work? Like, I just think about, like,
have y'all ever been downtown and the police jammers jam up your phones?
No,
I ain't been in none of them rebel.
So even
what were you marching against?
So I'll give you a different example. So not anytime, but sometimes when there are large gatherings, right, downtown, they'll deploy like these like trucks. They look a certain way. It's like jammers, and it'll like jam up your cell phones. Just Google it if y'all don't know what I'm talking about. And so basically, what that does is now you can't call an Uber. You can't do nothing with your phone,
and you can't broadcast live as they decide to assault and do whatever.
So what I'm trying to say is that's standard military police, because y'all know the police and the military got some of the same weapons and technology. Yep. That is like standard technology. So my thing is, if the police and the military got it, y'all know these other people got it.
Exactly.
In the old days, you just go to Radio Shack.
Man,
you could get anything.
Now you
go to the dark web.
You don't even got to go to the dark web to get some of the stuff. I'm gonna just tell you. But I think the challenge that I'm asking here now is, though, how does Joe Biden deal with this, right? Because Joe Biden, in my estimation, is he going to call it domestic terrorism? Is he going to actively take action against white men?
No, he's going to. I don't know about no to both points, but he is going to downplay this because he does not want it to look like it's us against them. He doesn't want it to be a civil war.
However, if it's being conducted, and I'm going to just tell you that somebody told me that there was going to be, remember when I told you a while back, my white friend said there was going to be a civil war, just wouldn't be declared? And yeah, I was just thinking, opening strikes. You saw we saw a Green Beret drive to Rockford and shoot up a bowling alley.
The Marines are saying right now, man, those Green Berets don't know how to do mayhem. Marines, when they go crazy, they kill hundreds of people. They don't fool around. They only got 3 people, huh?
That's what they call really dark humor. And we're gonna take a break on that note. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back. That wasn't a COVID call, was
FTVPN.
Today we learned that a Kentucky state grand jury found that the officer responsible for killing Breonna Taylor. Rulings like this one set us back and come as yet another challenge to the hard work and progress we've already made. It means we fight even harder against the systems of inequality and injustice designed to keep too many of us down. We will and we must continue to say her name. We will and we must continue to demand justice. And we will and we must do everything in our power to prevent any more names from being added to this role, like George Floyd, or closer to home, Rekia Boyd, and Laquan McDonald, and too many others. I want you to know that I support you and will do everything in my power to protect you.
Regarding the CBS 2 story last night about the raid on the social worker's home, why did your administration go to court to try and prevent the body camera video from being broadcast, and why is your administration asking a federal judge to punish Miss Young for sharing video of her own home being raided?
And I watched that video. This case was litigated in federal court. The federal judge put in place an order. There's allegations that she has violated that. A federal judge put rules in place. It's for that judge to determine whether or not that was appropriate. I'm not going to sit here and second guess a federal judge or how the information related to that matter was handled. That's for that judge who I know and is very competent and I'm sure will be fair in assessing.
Because COPA has not yet made a decision in 22 months on this.
I just, look, we got to fess up and we got to clean it up.
You have the wrong place. You got the wrong house. You got the wrong house.
We will and we must continue to say her name.
Jesse, there's no urban woman fucked into the house.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Mays Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Mays said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
You are listening to the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Miss Ruthie Moore, and Lil Ryan on the wheels of steel. You are listening to What's in It for the Black People Media. Catch us on WBGX 1570 AM. You can listen to us on YouTube. Watch us on YouTube. Watch us on Facebook on the Mays Jackson page. Just put it in your search engine. As well as you can listen to us on the TuneIn app. Now you can go to the Google Play Store as well as the App Store and download TuneIn. Put in WBGX and you can check us out. Y'all also, I want to put this out here. Because we already got, we trying to figure out the Ruthie Intergenerational Show. I'm trying to do a Chicago music show. So I'm still looking for music. Lil Ron might be opening up our podcast division. We're going to see if he can handle the business. The audio podcast division. We're going to see. I don't know. I don't know about Lil Ron.
He up for the challenge.
I don't know. Lil Ron, sometimes, he got him a whip now, so he on.
Clean. It's
he
clean.
He got him a whip. He got his hair did. Let me tell you.
Like 19 miles. And I said, is this new, Ron?
Look, Lil Ron, let me tell you this how it worked, though. Black man, let me tell you. This is how you can make a black man feel supreme.
How?
Give him a brand new haircut, a car wash, and give him $50. I'm telling you, a haircut, car wash, and $50 in my pocket.
Is that true, Todd?
What? $50?
I mean,
$50 goes quick nowadays.
But okay. So I would say a stack, but I'm trying to be reasonable. So okay. But seriously. A haircut and a car wash do miracles for your attitude.
It does.
If you down, you ain't got no money, go get a haircut and get a car wash. I bet you feel better.
I told you that a friend of mine, Larry Berry, I don't know if you remember Larry, but he was a lobbyist. Maybe retired by the time he got there for insurance. But he said his father-in-law was a barber during the Depression, And he had to hide his money in the mattress. He was making so much money.
I'm telling you, because
y'all do act brand new when y'all get y'all haircuts.
Barbara, I'm telling you, you can. Man, I'm waiting to go cut my uncle's hair cut off right now.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get through, y'all ain't gonna be able to talk to me for a week. So my hair grow back in. I'm gonna be acting like why are you looking at me?
I mean, because men do.
And don't
black
get a
men,
fresh line.
Y'all act different when y'all have y'all hair did.
Fresh line, not did. We get haircuts. Fresh line.
Some of y'all get y'all hair did nowadays.
So, and if you getting your hair did, this conversation ain't for you.
Men have various hairstyles
They
nowadays.
don't get their hair did.
Yes, they do. When y'all
Man,
be using that sponge.
That's not getting your hair did. We heard somebody the other day. We had to tell a brother, you can't be getting your hair done. We heard a brother say, "Hey, I'm going to get my hair done." We was like, "What you say?"
Yeah, right.
What you say? Not around here, man. See the
haircut,
man. Or you even look. I don't care what kind of hairstyle you got. A black man that's getting his hair done is probably getting done.
Oh man,
that's not true, Maze. There are various styles.
Talking about dark humor.
Done. If you name a black man that'd be like, I'm getting my hair done.
Billy
okay.
Porter.
Or like the people that you like, Prince. Prince got his hair done. When y'all had conks and finger waves, y'all used to get y'all hair done.
We got a conk. We got finger waves. We did not get it done. Now I'm telling you. So this is what that's a man law, bro. I'm trying to help y'all. It's a man law. Men don't say, I'm just telling you. Men,
what y'all call it? Good one.
I'm going to get my hair twisted. I'm going to get it locked. I'm going to get it.
I've heard men say I'm going to get my hair done.
Okay, and I'm telling you.
As May says, words mean things.
Exactly. I'm telling you, in the millennial, I'm telling you now, if you say you're going to get your hair done and you are over 35, every dude I know is going to be looking at you like, what you say?
What about when y'all use them sponges?
That ain't done. That's you sponging your hair.
Oh my goodness.
That's a verb. I'm sponging.
So what happened when you used to get your locks done?
I got my hair twisted.
What about when you got your locks braided in the style?
I got my hair twisted. Was it twisted? I got my locks braided. Look, y'all trying to feminize me. This is a battle. Look, Ruthie is in a battle to a feminize men.
Because
if a man tells you,
if they say what?
Look. Now,
y'all be trying to play with words.
No, I don't. That's a word with play. No, hair done is for women. Period.
Yeah, that's not playing.
I'm going to the shop, brother. Could you use that?
You can't even say it in the past tense. Like once you get it done, I got my hair.
She
done.
did my hair. Maybe.
Whatever happened to it.
But I ain't know I got my hair done. I'm gonna make that a poll question.
My mother used to braid my hair. My mother used to braid my hair.
Right.
But my hair got braided.
Oh, stop playing.
Look at Ruthie in the battle to a feminized black man.
That is not.
Oh man. Everybody
okay,
look like
hold on.
Billy
I
Porter.
gotta
That's
ask
what I'm
this
saying.
as a question. This is gonna be a poll question.
Oh man.
Do men get their I'm gonna make
in the past tense. If you're referring to it in the past tense.
Fix it up. How I'm gonna phrase this on the break and then we're gonna make it a question. But look, I want to talk about did y'all realize that the end of the year is here?
Yes. I'm hoping that after 2020 is over, like that everything will be back to normal.
Nah, June. They saying like Juneteenth.
Ooh, how
now,
convenient.
Think about Juneteenth gonna be the day white people.
Nope, because I already told y'all.
The white people gonna be like the day COVID ended.
Listen, y'all was around here celebrating. They're gonna have all the black people get their vaccines on Juneteenth.
Oh Lord!
It's gonna be a commercial in honor of your ancestors.
Do it.
Go take the.
Do it for Kunta.
Look, on Thursday I'm gonna have some things for you guys to do for the next year. Don't worry.
What do you mean?
You know. You're supposed to have some goals.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I got some goals too. All right, so I want to do this because I think this will be fun for us. And I think I'm going to open up the phone lines. Ruthie, you got that phone over there. Lil Ryan, open up the phones. I want to talk about the biggest events of the year. Okay?
My birthday.
Wonk, wonk,
What's
wonk.
number 2?
So I'm going to start with national. The biggest events of the year. Okay, so at number 3.
You mean this year?
This year, 2020. Number 3.
Was there anything?
Oh my God, the presidential election.
Yeah, that was
okay.
pretty big.
I'm gonna give that. You think? Number 2.
The presidential election.
See how we forget this? Why? This is
I
why
think the primary and the general were both big.
This is why. But this right here, you said nothing, and this is why this Anjanette Young thing worries me, right? Because here we got Todd in the midst of the year when we ain't had nothing to do but think about all the stuff that we ain't got to do. Todd said nothing happened this year. Okay, so that just makes me nervous.
I saw a lot of birds. I saw a lot of squirrels.
Okay, I want y'all to give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. All right, so I got number 3, the presidential election. Number 2, COVID-19, 20 and 21. Number 1, the murder of George Floyd. Fight me.
I think COVID may be number 1, but
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with COVID too, Todd.
What?
but I don't disagree with your list though.
We're going to end systemic racism because of George Floyd, and y'all saying COVID-19, 20 and 21 is bigger?
I think COVID helped because people were in a state of unrest and people were home.
Agitated, right.
And so I think it was just I don't want to say the perfect mix, but I think it added to the unrest.
The perfect lynching.
Everything closed down. People ain't getting money like they normally get money.
Okay. Give us a call. 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. What were the biggest national events of 2020? I'm going to tell you, so I think when I look at COVID-19, 20 and 21, I think it was a silent killer, right? Like it was just like it moved silently through and just things it almost was like quiet. Like,
you talking about COVID?
Yep.
Psh, I disagree, Maze. That came through like a tornado. And they tried to suppress it.
Remember when they told us to go to Chinatown?
No, do you remember when they told us not to wear masks?
I remember when they said it wasn't from China.
Come on now.
I remember when Mayor Lightfoot was calling us all stupid for coming down for not wanting to go to Chinatown.
What's the word that they used to? It's like anti.
They call it.
What was it? Was a word they was using. Is it xenophobe?
No, no, but
it's a word. I can't remember what the word is, but it was a word.
Racism against Chinese is what against Asians. I can't.
Xenophobia is a.
Is that what it was?
A term where you're well, it's kind of like a fear of people who aren't like you.
Okay. I just remember it was a word they was saying that because people didn't want to visit Chinatown and and they was saying it was connected to like racism.
Sonia went. Maze and I were like,
we ain't going. Yep, and then they was like, I can't think of what it's called, but there is a name for it.
You know what I'm talking about though, right? As long as you know what I'm talking about, Maze.
I do know what you're talking about. All right, so do y'all think, I think, okay, so I can give you that it came through, but I feel like George Floyd, cities burned. Like in the instance of COVID, it devastated businesses, but it almost felt like it just turned the lights off. Like, I feel like with COVID, there's the premise of at some point you could just turn the lights back on. It's like, you know how like when the heat is off and then like it's cold in the place and then you turn the switch on and it's like, zzz, and then you slowly feel the heat build up and then it all kind of comes back. I think with George Floyd, I look at places like, is it Seattle?
Yes.
Right? I look at places like Chicago, downtown. Like, I feel like George Floyd has almost made it where we may not see the lights come back on Michigan Avenue, right? Right? Like, you think about what that unrest, I feel like George Floyd broke the seal. Like, George Floyd, never in my entire life, in any shape, form, or imagination would I have ever imagined Michigan Avenue going up. Never. I feel like they would have put they would have been helicopters and everything, and they would have I remember when we shut Michigan Avenue down for Black Friday. And I remember all of us getting around planning because we were concerned about what they would do to our kids if they went down there and tore up Michigan Avenue.
Right.
Right? And I'm telling you that, like in the Ruthie space, we probably were the people trying to hold the windows from being broken.
Mm-hmm.
I think that George Floyd broke the imaginary seal. Like, we saw all the protests before in inner city neighborhoods burning up our own neighborhoods. We saw white people retreating in the George Floyd space. We're going to talk about it some more. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. I got the top 3 for national as George Floyd, COVID-19, and the presidential elections. Ruthie and Todd say COVID-19 20 and 21 was first, George Floyd second, and the presidential election third. What do you think? Then when we come back, we're going to talk about the 3 biggest things I think happened in the state. Ready? We'll be back.
WIFTVPN.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Week events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Week members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the people. People. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Miss Ruthie Moore, Lil Ron on the wheels of steel. Now look, we are asking, what were the biggest events of 2020? Give us a call. Ruthie, you say the number because you say I say it too fast.
The number is, grab your pens or your phone. That's what you got to tell people that you're about to say it so they can get ready to take it down. 872-259-7474.
872-259-7474. That's 872-259-7474. Do it again, Ruthie.
872-259-7474.
259-7474. You did that too fast. 74774. Give us a call. We want to hear from you. Biggest events of the year.
We got something from social. Let me know when you're ready and I can tell you.
You got something
Ruthie
from social?
used her business voice.
All right, so let's go to Mike, and then we're going to go to Ruthie. Mike, what's up? Who we got? What you got for the biggest events of the year, my man?
Well, I have a question. What's the biggest event, I believe, around the world is folks trying to steal the world, and it's the virus. And my question is, there is 300,000 people that have died here in America. There's 35,000 that have died in Africa. That's what I've heard, and I believe that's the whole continent of Africa. And there's more folks in Africa than it is here in America. So what's up with what they have that we don't have?
That's interesting. So where do you rank that?
Yeah. Oh, and one other thing related to money. What I believe in also that you can use in your own family, at your own will, which is money put to work will earn you more money than you can go to work and earn.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
A philosophy I think should be taught.
Thank you. All right, look, Ruthie, we are asking what were the biggest event. Thanks, Mike. The question though is, what were the biggest events of 2020? What were the biggest events of 2020? Ruthie, you said you got some on social. What you got?
Yep, we got some. So Diane said COVID, number 1, George Floyd, number 3. Angela Kilpatrick said COVID changed the world, not just the U.S., economically and our way of life. Felicia Stovall said COVID, number 1, George Floyd, number 2, / the uprisings. Beulah said COVID, George Floyd, Ahmaud Avery, and also Breonna Taylor. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got into that.
I think that George Floyd was like, there's always been a simmering. George Floyd was just kind of like putting that stuff you put on your barbecue to make it the flames go up.
Lighter fluid.
Yeah, lighter fluid.
That's a good one, Todd.
I don't know, man. I guess, me as a black person, I just want to make sure that, I really just want the George Floyd to mean more. But I do think that COVID probably was the farthest reaching because it was international. And I do think, though, that COVID combined with George Floyd, I do feel like we saw an international recognition of racism by white people across the globe. Now, not that we need white recognition, but I do think that we saw it.
It was like a recognition to the anti-black nature of racism here in America.
Okay.
And I think that's important to add in, that it's anti-black racism that we face a lot of across the globe, just as being black people. But here in America, I think the George Floyd situation put us in a position where we said we cannot sit back and not do anything while somebody is being lynched in front of our faces. And I know that sometimes, it was, the real hero was the little girl that was brave enough to stand there and record it. But at some point, we got to stop recording and start taking action. And I think that's what the outpouring of that situation was. It was the action of it. We not about to take this.
I wonder how much of that was black action. Right? I think the one thing that I think about George Floyd that makes me concerned was that it was the white people absolution.
Well, I feel like it was more like, so one of the issues that I had with the overall situation was how I saw so many every website released a statement and every corporation plastered black onto something. And I felt like there was a lot of appeasement so that they could quiet down the unrest. Even if you look at the NBA, the NFL, and things like that, they pacified us with a lot of, they even gave us Juneteenth. Like, they pacified us. And so, but I think it was a pacification, I don't know if I can use that word, to quell the unrest because they saw the economic damage that was about to happen. America don't care if you mad, but if you mad and you start tearing up stuff, they'll slap black on anything to shut us up.
I'm gonna give you that. I think the biggest moment that I think I was just thinking about when the NBA decided to go back to play, and your boy President Obama, when LeBron James was like, President Obama was a deciding factor for us to go back to play. Like, why we care about making them white people rich? I mean, that was the ultimate flex. It was the ultimate flex. Okay, so I'm gonna give y'all COVID as the biggest thing in 2020. Let's go to the state. So if we agree all that COVID-19, 20, and 21 was the biggest thing that happened nationally, we got to imagine, I know, we're still going to take your calls too, 872-259-7474. We're just going to broaden the conversation. If you were in the state of Illinois, what were the 3 biggest things that happened in the state of Illinois this year? Not just black people, but just the biggest. I mean, but for me, it is the biggest for black people. Ruthie.
The
Don't
biggest
be cheating
thing.
off that paper neither.
Well, I definitely
cheater, pumpkin eater.
Cannabis Gate. I think
Cannabis Gate.
Yeah, I think them statues coming down was important. And then just because this just happened, I'm gonna have to say the Anjanette Young video.
That's city.
That's still the state though.
Okay.
I think that's gonna have ramifications across the whole state.
Woo! I saw that yesterday. Remind me to tell you about those ramifications. Because yesterday we saw the beginning of those happening when I saw that the 1,000 Women March was calling for everybody to do an investigation except Lori Lightfoot. They were calling everybody out but Lori Lightfoot. But we'll talk about that a little later. I'm gonna put y'all up on game. All right, Todd, what you guys the biggest three things in the state?
ComEd indictments.
You've been cheating. Go ahead.
Then I'm gonna go with the cannabis.
You cheater!
And then I'm gonna agree with Ruthie about Anjanette Young.
Okay. I think they were cheating on my paper. So I got the three biggest things that happened in the state of Illinois. The Madigan Chronicles, which include the ComEd scandal, the indictments, and all of the rolled up everything from Senator Sandoval passing to what happened with Arroyo to Terry Link to right now the indictments and the $1 billion and finding out that the speaker was so gangster with it that he was stealing internships from poor kids in a black neighborhood. So I get that as number one. To see the economic pillaging of our state by one criminal enterprise and the expose of that had to be the biggest thing in the state. I think the second thing that probably was more criminal than anything was Cannagate. The fact that Illinois in this same year became the cannabis capital of the world, we were systemically excluded from 100% of the ownership. And that we allowed white people to give us, we allowed white people to create the black people to steal our birthright. You know, I truly feel like, what's the name of that group? Chicago Normal is the Jacob. They are the Jacob that you find in the Bible. In case you don't know the story of Jacob and Esau, Jacob dressed up, put on sheep's wool, and went to his father and stole his father who was blind and stole the birthright of his brother Esau. In my estimation, our birthright in the cannabis space was stolen by Chicago Normal. I'll never forget the time we had the phone call right here on the morning show when Senator Hendon called and then the representative from we need to go back and get that because that might be one of our greatest moments. When they literally came on air and discussed the theft of our cannabis participation. And now we find out that the lottery is still continuing and that at this point, after 2 years, there's still no black participation. And we found out that cannabis was going to surpass liquor in tax revenue next year. It's only $75,000. When I told you that they allowed Prohibition 2.0 to happen, and they cut us out of it. And the third thing that I think that was the most impactful that we won't see until later on this year is the failure of the fair tax.
Ooh.
I think the failure of the fair tax will have long-lasting ramifications to the fiscal impact. It essentially makes J.B. Pritzker the equivalent of Rod Blagojevich economically in the state of Illinois, skipping pension payments and selling us on a magic bag of tricks that he put in the hands of a guy from Georgia to tell us why they should raise our taxes, spending over $50 million to which no black people participated economically, and he got his ass handed to him. I think we're all going to pay a price because the Speaker of the House is now leveraging our tax dollars, our income tax, to save his job because the fair tax failed. So those are my big three. When we come back, we'll take your calls. It's the Mace Jackson Show. Give us a call. Ruthie, you say it because I'm too fast.
Here's the number. Grab your pens. 872.
Hold it. Do that again.
Grab your pens.
Okay.
872-255-7474.
All right, we'll be back after these messages.
WIFTBPN.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
You better be careful, baby, be careful. This is a baby making tone. Better be careful what your radio on. This is a baby making tone. Better be careful what your radio on. You let down your hair when you're feeling sexy. You bite on your lip when you're holding your tongue. You uncross your legs, yeah, without even speaking. Your body is screaming. You wanna make love. I can hear your body language. You ain't said a word, but I know what you feel. 'Cause I can hear your body language. Say, come on, it's on. The message is clear. Let me pause, babe. You look so good. Together, my thoughts, make sure I'm hearing you right. Baby, slow my baby. If I am mistaken, 'cause love will be making. I can see it in your eyes. I'm watching every move you make. Yeah, don't go too fast and don't be late. Oh no, all the time you need to take. That's what it's saying. That's what you're saying, baby. You know me when
You are listening to the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Miss Ruthie Moore over here doing her locks.
Shout out to Solo Beauty for the hair products.
Oh, shout out to Solo
Thank
Beauty.
you, Nidra.
Nidra hooked everybody up.
You see my edges?
Let me tell you, is that what you do? That's what you got to twist them up.
Just
you
to-
get a line too?
Ew, no.
You don't get a razor and...
Ew, no.
All right, man. All right.
Janine was messing with Han's hair like one day because he hadn't cut it since like February or something.
Ooh.
And he probably hadn't done anything else to it either. So she was putting all kind of stuff in massage.
Oh, with the stuff you got in
Yeah.
your pack? I'm going to tell you, look, my son, shout out to Nidra. She said she was going to sponsor MJ, his hair. Man, he had a nice little house cat, but he handed me the pick. She gave him a gold pick. I was like, oh, can I have that, please? I was all in his bag. He was like, does it require me to comb my hair? If it does, then you can have it. Shout out to Nidra Williams, Solo Beauty. Thank you so much for everything that you do. All right, State of Illinois, did you get me? So do we agree that the Madagascar Chronicles was number one?
No, I think it was the Chronic.
Oh, you think the Chronic was number one?
I think the marijuana debacle, because it was We're supposed to be counting how many black people are about to be millionaires right now.
But it was only 75. It was only going to be 75 licenses. So let's say that we got our proportion. Let's say that was 12 millionaires we lost. I mean,
yeah, I mean it was awful, but I think the ComEd thing was bigger.
Now, if you say what happened to us per se, then I'd give you the ComEd. We was completely left out. Like ComEd, it was like they was just passing money around, bribing everybody except the black people. They was like, we got them suckers. But if you want to talk about actual, like I think if you're talking impact to black people, I gotta say cannabis. But if you're saying state, the impact to the state, I mean, do you realize this Madigan stuff won't even have, like they refuse to govern. No, like seriously. Like, understand that the dude blocked the law to stop Zoom meetings to govern remotely. Like, understand the man understand the man canceled veto session. He canceled a scheduled scheduled meeting convening of the body of our state government because he didn't want them Negroes in the same room.
Right.
Like, see, I think the sun is setting on that though.
But we're living it right now.
We are.
Yeah, but we are living through it.
So I'm saying now, if you say in 2021, I could give you that. Mm-hmm. But if you talk about what is the biggest impact to the state, I think the fact that we have no budget, that we're flying by the seat of our pants, that we are right now entering Bruce Rauner world. We are. There's no budget. There's no balanced budget. There's clearly no budget. There's no money for the budget that they proposed.
Right.
Right? They made a whole plan, came out, told us how great J.B. Pritzker was. J.B. came out, gave y'all the Black Power fist for George Floyd, then gave y'all that same fist up y'all. He fisted y'all.
Oh!
I'm just saying.
I think May should be censored.
J.B.
Where's Sonia when we need her? Isn't she HR?
J.B. fisted the black community with this budget. Because the cannabis money, think about this. Y'all didn't get none, but the cannabis money was in that budget. So they planned for the money. Y'all just didn't get none.
You know, Ruthie hasn't been married, right? So you can't be talking like this to her.
I just don't even know what Maze is talking about.
Yes, there we go.
Stop it. Ruthie be looking at porn on the internet.
Maze is like, look, I already got my foot in it. You can put the other one.
I said a fist. You done put a foot in.
You don't even need to get on the internet nowadays. You turn on regular TV.
Don't Google that. Don't Google that. Whatever you say. But JB literally did that to us. Did somebody pay for that?
That's Lil Ron looking that up. Let me see.
No pictures, please. Look, Lil Ron back there. All right. So let's take a vote. If you think that the Madigan Chronicles were the biggest thing that happened in the state this year, raise your hand. Say aye. Aye. Dang, Todd, you were supposed to be.
I was on it until you went on the speech about the fair tax, and I'm like, wow, that's actually the biggest thing that's affected us.
Right, but Madigan is jacking the fair tax now. He won't even let y'all meet to talk about what we gonna do next.
I mean, I agree with that.
All right, so I got the Madigan Chronicles. That's me. 1 vote for Madigan Chronicles. You count, Lil Ron. You vote with me, Lil Ron? Okay. All right. So
he's like, wait a minute, I ain't crazy.
2 people for the Madigan Chronicles. All right. If you think that cannabis tops the Cannagate was the number one thing this year, in the state, raise your hand. Ruthie!
I think it was cannabis. From criminal justice down to the
You
economics.
been hanging out with my cousin, ain't you?
Mm-hmm. That's your cousin was like, you know they screwed us up.
My cousin said, this fine, but
but then I forgot why we was mad.
Right, we mad. Why we mad? Pass that to the left. All right.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, but my cousin said, Rona also made no more passing. There will be no more passing.
Oh.
And then, so those of you who think it's the fair tax, raise your hand. Guess what?
What?
We won. Me and Ron. Good go, Ron. You stick with the winner, man. Stick with the winner. All right, but I do think the fair tax, I think the fair tax and this pension holiday that the governor took is going to be I mean, literally, he did what Rob Blagojevich did. I think that this fair tax could be, and this fair tax in cannabis, y'all voting for the governor this time? Lollipops?
Who running against him?
Erica Harold.
The election's not coming for a while, is it?
15 months. It's starting.
Is that all?
All 15 months.
That's it?
15 months. I'm just telling y'all. Look, he's getting ready to start paying you Negroes now.
He gonna get racked over the coals by the
man. Them
Standard
Negro,
& Poor's and all
them
that
Negro preachers is lining up for that payday. They like, boy, keep on whooping JB Mays, cause he gonna, you hit the dough boy, we gonna get paid. Let's go
something
to
that.
Huh?
There's something to that.
I am. I'm gonna stop hitting them up. You know what? I'm gonna stop helping these preachers get paid. They be like, that Mays, we can stand up against them. Just give me 50,000. You know they was like $50. All right, let's go to the live line. We got is Jacob on the line? Jacob, you on the Mays Jackson show? What's up, brother?
Good morning. Good morning.
Why I'm only hearing
hey, bro, I just had to call real quick to defend my elder or my ancestor Jacob. He didn't steal the birthright. Esau sold it, and his mother Rebecca made him put the skin on because the Creator told her that the youngest was going to serve the oldest. All right, so Esau was older, and he came. The reason why Jacob put on the fur, his mother told him to go put on the fur so he can be furry like an animal because he's a cunning man of the field. That's who Esau is. So Jacob didn't steal Esau.
What the Bible say, but I'm just telling you though, bro. In the Bible, it say he stole his birthright. I'm just telling you. That's what it say in the Bible. I'm not tripping.
Well, anybody, that's what we do, man. Jacob, man, got turned to Israel. I know that he didn't steal it. His mother tricked his father, and then Esau sold it for some food. All right, anybody can look it up.
Okay,
That's
I do remember the food. That was
Israel.
that bowl of stew. He wanted that mutton, boy.
Right.
I don't, man.
Right.
Hey, bro, he wanted that mutton. He been working hard. He came. I got it. I got it, dog. I got it. I appreciate you, Jacob. You know you my man. Get me straight. Shalom. Who else we got on that live line? Frank. Frank hung up. All right, y'all. Well, look.
Hey, do you know what Jacob means in German, at least?
Not in German.
Or maybe it's not in German. It means he who supplants.
That's about right. He supplanted Esau out of his birthright. Look, y'all, it's the Mays Jackson show. I'm going to change. Look, we going to still do the city, but I'm going to say that for y'all for tomorrow because I want to talk about this Women's March. So here's what I'm going to do. I want to talk about this in the spirit of unity with my, I don't want to call it my third eye. I want to call it my black eye, the eye to the dark arts. And I want to share this respectfully without denigrating anyone. And I'm not going to accuse or say that this is what is happening. What I am going to ask is us to be vigilant. Is that fair? Mm-hmm. Is it fair for me to be able to speak on an issue without trying to denigrate the people involved, but point out some of the key similarities to what has happened with some of the same associates in the past? Because what do they say? Past performance is the best indicator of what? Like future?
Depends on what you're talking about.
Okay.
In stocks and stuff like that, they tell you just the opposite.
Okay, but in real life, they tell you what? Past performance is the best indicator of
future success, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
So I just see a bunch of things that I saw. I want to say rest in peace to some of our major organizers who would probably take up this charge right now. You think about maybe 5 years ago, who would be the people in front of this if this was Rahm Emanuel with Anjanette Young? Like what black leaders would be the people standing up and fighting for the mayor or trying to spin it to keep black people on the ranch. Remember, it happened after Laquan McDonald.
I'd rather go back 10 years.
Okay. Go back 10.
Yeah.
What's 10?
Well, I think 10 years ago, like Jesse Jackson is younger.
Okay.
That gives him some energy that he doesn't have today at his age.
I want to look at this a different way. Mm-hmm. I want to look at this from when I looked at the press conference, who is aligned with who? And what was the goal? Maybe the day that we heard about Anjanette Young, I got a call from a sister who I know has been actively organizing for years, right? And she came to me with the concept of the 1,000 Women March on City Hall. As that spread, then I saw a counter-protest, not a counter-protest, but a protest that was arranged by someone else that was also called the 1,000 Women March, but it was being led by people who could be perceived to be teammates of Mayor Lightfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And so what I want to do is I want to take a quick break, and then I want to come back and I want to point out the similarities I want to remain in the spirit of Kuji Jalinga. Am I saying it right?
Close.
No, don't have me out here so the activists can be calling. You don't know how to say them. Anyway, I want to stay in the spirit of unity, but I also want to make sure that we are clear who walks amongst us. It's the Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back.
Shoot, I was
Top,
more,
what do you,
Church Chicago's Power Hour. I'm your host, Angie Mims, and
Terrence Key, TD, a.k.a. Terrence Daniels.
I wish I had one witness in the house.
You got one. You got a couple of them. Got two T's.
Give me a testimony.
Oh, Lord. He's did it before. Oh, Lord.
I got one better. I got 5 reasons.
5 reasons. Oh, Lord. He turned it around.
Turn it around. He woke me up this morning.
Oh. Don't do this. Don't do this.
Go
number
ahead.
4?
He woke me up this morning.
Come on, number 3. Come.
He woke me up.
Oh, Lord.
He woke you up.
That thing can touch you, but one of them 5s will get you. What's the second one?
He woke me up this morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, my God.
And the number 1 reason.
Number 1. Final answer.
He woke me up this morning.
He woke me up this morning.
That's a testimony.
That's a testimony.
makes me feel 10 feet tall. Without it, I could do withdrawal. 'Cause nothing even matters at all. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. These buildings can drift out to sea. A natural catastrophe. But there's no place I'd rather be. 'Cause nothing even matters to me. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. Nothing
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Miss Ruthie Moore. Lil Ron is in the building.
In the building.
He is in the building, man. He didn't, he skipped me. He had me listening to Dead Air a few minutes ago. I ain't gonna, that. Look, he was trying to line up, that, right? But I'm gonna tell y'all, so I debated whether I was supposed to talk to y'all about this or not. And I don't know if I am. But one of the things, so did y'all see yesterday we had, it was billed as 1,000 women march in front of City Hall. Now, I'm going to tell you the reason that this caught my eye. I expected there would be a series of press conferences regarding what happened to Miss Anjanette Young, who, by the way, has agreed to meet with Mayor Lori Lightfoot, I believe, on Wednesday, publicly and privately. I would just caution Miss Young. Now, I'm going to say this. Nobody's going to swear you to a vow of poverty, so if you want to get that bag, get that bag. But know that that private meeting is the meeting where they're going to try and kind of get you from trying to make you be a mayoral ally out of this, and you're going to lead the peace march, and we're going to walk in unity together, and we're going to fight this as black women together, and that's what the goal is. And y'all supposed to come out with y'all hands raised together, standing together. That's what the expectation of the private meeting is. And then you're going to have a public meeting where I just want to remember the woman. Now, one of the things that I saw yesterday, though, in the press conference was that it was named 1,000 Women March, right? And I had been approached by Helen Tyner literally the day of when we found out about the Anjanette Young, and she said, hey, I want to promote 1,000 women to descend on City Hall, right? And I thought, how wonderful. And that's when y'all heard me talking about we need to have a black vanguard of men that will go as well to support. And remember I was telling you about that. And then all of a sudden I see this other 1,000 women march that is now, the other march was planned for January 4th, and then it went to the 11th. And then all of a sudden we saw this 1,000 women march that occurred yesterday. Approximately about 200 people showed up.
I thought it was the same thing, Maze.
That's the point, though. That's the whole thing. So let me help you understand that part of the goal of the dark arts is to confuse the messaging and to confuse who are the people and the players. And then usually the people who get the biggest crowd and the biggest player, that's who the people follow, the masses. Because the masses just want to be a part. So yesterday, so I call my friend and I say, Helen, is this your march? Because I know you talked about this stuff. Because I was a bit confused. I was like, you told me the 11th. Mm-hmm. And then I start to see, and she's like, but in the spirit of Kuji Jajalinga, she says it's a precursor to the march that they were planning on the 11th. But what I saw essentially was the bait and switch, right? Where the mayor supplanted her allies in the space of the community, right? So let's think about the people we saw at the forefront of the march. We saw Hermine Hartman. We saw the Reverend Jesse Jackson. We saw Alderman Pat Dow. We saw, dang, I'm missing some. We saw Hermine, Jesse, Bobby Rush. Now, I want to point out that all of them have declared their allegiance to the mayor. And if you paid attention, the focus of the march was pivoting away from the mayor's responsibility in it to spreading the blame out to other people, right? So then we saw them calling for Kim Fox, Kwame Raoul, and the Inspector General to do their jobs. But we know that the mayor knew. But then you got to say, if Ruthie, you were confused, and you're pretty smart. that you thought that the 1,000 women march that happened yesterday was the one that we've been talking about. The goal here is to really muddle the message, change the leadership, and then move the march in the direction that you want. Remember Juneteenth? Remember Juneteenth was in the midst of, and then all of a sudden we saw Juneteenth, even as the city told us that we were no longer allow gatherings, then what we saw was Juneteenth was given a permit and a march, and they marched downtown, and instead of Lucretia and the Black Remembrance Project and all the people that have been putting the work in, calling for it to be a real holiday, we got the symbolism, but most black people didn't know the difference between the Black Remembrance Project and the Israeli coalition that got put together to lead this new march.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you saw was black people clapping. And I remember I was talking to one of the sisters that we know, one of my cousins who helped organize that Juneteenth march. And then she said, man, I didn't know. She realized afterwards that she had been duped. Mm-hmm. And she said, Dag, I didn't even know. I said, I try to tell y'all these things. Well, that's a trusted person I'm supposed. So pay attention to what's happening right now. The goal right now is to switch this narrative out of the hands of real true activists who have a real axe to grind and put it in the hands of politicians. So you mean to tell me that we saw Jesse Jackson respectfully endorse Lori Lightfoot, and every time there's been a challenge, he's been right there, right? Like when she needed somebody to step up, he stepped up. We saw Bobby Rush and her had beef, and then all of a sudden Bobby Rush's office got busted up and they was holding a press conference. We ain't heard nothing about that no more.
Nope, kind of went away.
That just went away. Mm-hmm. But Alderman Dow, respectfully, budget chairman, just shepherded through the mayor's budget, right?
Right.
She's not going to be up and be there to hold the mayor accountable. And so what I want you all to pay attention to is that I just don't want you to be lined up, because what happens is they got and I'm going to tell you, there were a lot of respected people out there yesterday. I don't get along with everybody, but there were a lot of, and shout out to Paul McKinley, because I was watching his video, right? I was watching his Facebook Live and I was seeing all the people. And the thing that stood out to me was that there were people who were genuinely there in the spirit of Kujija Jalinga to be unified. I saw even Sister Helen being out there as part of the march because she didn't want to be divisive, right? Because what she looked like saying, man, y'all just took my name and my whole joint and just co-opted it. Now I'm going to explain to you that this is right now what is happening. Remember I told you about chaos is never let a good crisis go to waste?
Right.
Remember how the mayor don't have no black people, no black whisperers? Well, right now what you're watching is the contest to be the mayor's black advisor. Mm. So right now people are saying these are the tools and the tactics that I can use to leverage black people against their own self-interest. And that's a coveted spot. No, it is. I mean, every white mayor has had one. Has had a public affairs PR specialist whose job it was to assemble and redirect the Negroes. Right now, those people are gone. Couldn't you imagine right now if this was happening, Leon Finney standing up talking about with a whole troop of seniors and some buses? Remember when Forrest Claypool was getting fired for being a criminal? Mm-hmm. Right? And so right now, the cheerleader spot, the mayor's Negro whisperer spot, because prior to this, she didn't need one. Now she needs one. What I find so interesting about this is that so many of the people that are on the mayor's team now, and I think of the mayor like Jane Byrne, were the same people that led the march in Chicago Fest against Mayor Byrne. And now here they are 40 years later on the side of the establishment against black people. Look, y'all, it's the Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back.
WIFTVPN.
Today we learned that a Kentucky state grand jury found that the officer responsible for killing Breonna Taylor. Rulings like this one set us back and come as yet another challenge to the hard work and progress we've already made. It means we fight even harder against the systems of inequality and injustice designed to keep too many of us down. We will and we must continue to say her name. We will and we must continue to demand justice. And we will and we must do everything in our power to prevent any more names from being added to this role, like George Floyd, or closer to home, Rekia Boyd, and Laquan McDonald, and too many others. I want you to know that I support you and will do everything in my power to protect you.
Regarding the CBS 2 story last night about the raid on the social worker's home, why did your administration go to court to try and prevent the body camera video from being broadcast? And why is your administration asking a federal judge to punish Miss Young for sharing video of her own home being raided?
And I watched that video. Now, this case was litigated in federal court. The federal judge put in place an order. There's allegations that she has violated that. A federal judge put rules in place. It's for that judge to determine whether or not that was appropriate. I'm not going to sit here and second guess a federal judge or how the information related to that matter is handled. That's for that judge who I know and is very competent and I'm sure will be fair in assessing.
Because COPA has not yet made a decision in 22 months on this.
I just, look, we got to fess up and we got to clean it up.
You have the wrong place! You got the wrong house! You got the wrong house!
We will and we must continue to say her name.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Mace Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Mace said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets where hood legends DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Lenders give bogus appraisals and red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
You'll never regret. And you, with your pretty brown eyes, I knew, baby, you would change my life. And you opened up my eyes to see I'm excited for our future, but I love our history. Let's throw back to the day that we first met. Let's throw back, I never will forget. Let's throw back to when we fell in love. Let's throw back, babe. I wanna throw back, babe. Is it just me? Don't you miss those nights sexing on the beach, playing Isley Brothers in between the sheets? And now we're taking flights from London to Belize, and we're popping bottles, endless shopping sprees. Still sexy as can be. I knew you're still the only one for me. Yeah, I'm feeling lucky as can be. I'm excited for our future, but I love our history. Yeah, to the day that we first met. Let's throw back. I really wanna know. Let's throw back. Let's go back. Let's reminisce to the first time we let's reminisce of the whip. We were making love. Come on now. Let's throw back. Oh, all I wanna do is throw it back. That's all I wanna do. Come on now. Let's throw back, babe. I wanna throw back, babe. Let's throw back, everybody.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Miss Ruthie Moore. Yeah, my heart is extremely heavy. So this COVID 2020 is real. You know, I have been arguing and fighting and going back and forth over this thing. And hey. So for many of you, or some of you who know me, know that when I came to Chicago, I was not a Chicago. I grew up in the suburbs. I was born in Chicago. I grew up in the suburbs. When I came back to Chicago, there was a man that took me under his wing, showed me kind of how to move around in the city of Chicago, taught me how to dress. I always tell jokes about he was from the era of the colorful suits. And so he would always give me his old suits, and he was a 44 and I was a 34. So I would have his pants taken in, and I would have his suits in the pockets with touch in the back because they had to take so much material out. I remember walking around in clothes that were 2 times my size, but the brands were impeccable. I remember the very first time that I drank a bottle of champagne with a straw. The first time that I was ever VIP at a party. The first time that I ever went to a pro basketball game and was acknowledged. First time I ever drove a Mercedes-Benz. The first time I ever went to mostly anything in the city. When my son wanted to learn to play basketball, he coached at University of Illinois at Chicago. My son got all of the premier college. He thought he was an NCAA player at age 5. So you can imagine that if you're on air and you get a phone call and somebody texts you 911, you don't really take too many 911s on air. I just found out that one of my closest friends and big brother in the universe, Donnie Kirksey, has passed. If you know DK, Donnie Kirksey, CVS legend, CVS, there's so many lives that he's impacted. Everybody, Rod Strickland, best friend, discovered Eddie Curry, helped put the Fab Five together. Jawan Howard then went on to help put together the DePaul Superstar team. He just passed from COVID. And it's real as hell. Like, when I say it's real, it's like he got it on Monday. And I feel kind of crazy because he hit me. I didn't know he had it, but he had hit me. And with everything going on, you get to run and you say, okay, I'm going to call you back. And I had meant to hit him on Christmas Day, and I did not. And for Mouse to call me and be like, man, I know you're on air, but I got to talk to you. Man, for those of y'all that know Donnie Kirksey, he has passed of COVID. I'm in shock. I really am in shock. Probably a big chunk of the man that I am today in this city of Chicago is because of this dude. And I'm in shock. I don't really know what to say. My heart and condolences go out to Dion, his wife, to his daughter, to his grandson. DK, I've been going through some crazy stuff here lately. As a father with a daughter, trying to navigate this space. And I will tell you that probably over these last few months, he's probably been one of my most reliable sources of mental stability. Like the guy who said, man, it don't stop. This is just the beginning, right? This ain't and he was literally just telling me, man, I got to get Maison in the gym because we got to get him ready for the season. That's my big bro. You hear people talk big bro this, big bro that, and they mean it's become almost like a faddish thing to say. But that literally was my big bro. I think man, it's the dude who taught me that your brown pants if you got brown belt on, you gotta have brown shoes.
Right.
No, it's funny because I think about how many days I look like a complete idiot. I remember the first time I got a suit that wasn't from Sears and Roebuck. This dude took me to get it. I remember the first time I had a tailor. And I apologize right now for all of this, but the loss of Donnie Kirksey is not just a loss to me, it's a loss to the city of Chicago. It's a loss to Chicago's basketball community. And I just, we'll take a break. We'll be back.
WIFTVPN.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Loving you has always been easy because it's true. Yeah. I wouldn't have believed if someone would have told me you would come along to reveal my soul. Cause I was done with love, my heart had grown cold. You had good energy, exactly what I needed. You walked in my life and placed the joy where was needed. Not a mirage, what I feel for you. Put that on God, girl, I'm loving you. Said it's easy to love. Said it's easy to love. Loving you has always been easy cause you're beautiful. Loving you has always been wonderful. More than you'll ever know. We got good chemistry, go together like love says. Passion and care we show one another tops all the rest. The feelings I have for you, I ain't felt in so long. What we share together, baby, the bond is so strong. It's no facade of what I feel for you. Put that on God, I got love for you. Yeah, said it's easy to love.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Ruthie Moore in the building. Lil Ron on the wheels. I just want y'all to be ever vigilant in regards to these marches. So real talk, I was looking at the list of people I was watching. Shout out to Paul McKinley. I was watching his video yesterday, and I was watching all the people who were out at the march. And I just don't want us to be sidetracked. I thought that was what we heard yesterday from Reverend Jackson was that they will march every week until they get some justice. But what I also think that does is it mutes the marches of all the other people, because the cameras, regardless, and it really, I don't, no shade to Reverend Jackson, but I did watch it yesterday, and I really do believe that this is a woman. Like, I think men should be there, but I really think we need to be quiet, and I think we need to let women, and I think we need to be the silent force. Now, that's not my, and I don't get to say, it's not my vote. It wasn't my march. The thing that I want y'all to be careful of, though, really, is that we don't allow ourselves to be co-opted, because these right now the goal is to deflect from the mayor, right? She fired everybody, but y'all got to think about this. The officers that did this were still working, even as she was giving the press conferences, lecturing us and lecturing that woman. And so you have to ask yourself, at what point did Anjanette Young become a priority for Mayor Lightfoot, right? Because if you recall that first press conference, she was like the lady was in violation. She did something wrong. Her attorney, then it pivoted. And then imagine that these police officers have been involved in botched raids and the mayor left them operating. See, what they got to do is stop the questions from coming to the mayor and start to diffuse them, right? It's now about the accountability. We already know we already know what the police are going to do. The police going to police. The challenge becomes, what did the mayor do when she knew? No one wants that question to be answered. Or maybe I'm lost. But I got to ask myself, if the mayor's allies are leading the march, are they really going to lead you to the source? Or are they going to lead you away?
Away.
Well, it sounds to me, after watching this, this happened for, I don't know, what's it been, like 2 weeks, that it's more that there's got to be some kind of systematic change or something wrong with the system of these no-knock warrants. If they're always making mistakes, and they got guys standing around trying to figure out what to do when there is a mistake, the rules obviously are screwed up. Some's got to change.
Yeah, but we haven't heard anything about training. What we've heard is, see, that's that BS right there. Not to trip on you, Todd, but that's that BS. It's like there's not a substantive change. Nobody said, okay, if those cops didn't know what to do in a situation like that, then that's a training issue. That's really a training issue. It is, I don't think.
Yeah, but that training comes out of the rule book. There's a rule book that says this is what you're supposed to do if A or B or C. And the supervisor is supposed to be the most knowledgeable person.
The rule book doesn't tell you. So if you were taught from forever that they're inhuman, then you do as you do. But I was just going to tell you, as I told you last week, I talked to law enforcement, and officers have said that first of all, if you knock on the door and say, hey guys, to a known drug felony suspect, they're not going to be like, okay, come on in and have a good time.
I get it.
The other part is that they said there will always be mistakes in no-knock warrants. It just has to be, how do we rectify it? Which goes back to the training, and I'll give you the rule book. But again,
so there has to be. So if there's going to be mistakes,
okay,
then there comes the question is, how many mistakes, what level, and when are we like, well, if there's going to be mistakes in 80% of this, then we're not going to do this.
But
anymore.
They're not saying it's 80%. They're not. They weren't even. And that's.
I know they didn't give you a percentage at all. I'm pretty sure.
But that's a false equivalent, right? I think if you're saying that a majority,
no, we don't know though.
Okay,
See?
I'll give you that.
It's an unknown.
I'll give you that, but I'm gonna tell you that they said there are approximately 50 out right now, still under investigation. No knock warrants that are under investigation.
You mean in this year?
At COPA. So I have no doubt that there are more of these videos. I don't think that's really the issue. I think the issue is, when the boss knew, what did the boss do? The boss proceeded to see again. The mayor's.
It's no issue to you because it wasn't your door.
Okay, no, okay. The issue for the mayor, right, is to get away from the cover up, right? So to keep doing that, what you're doing.
No, hold on. No, they're separate issues. Yes, the
But
mayor.
that's why
The mayor tried to downplay it. That's true. I saw that.
No, the mayor tried to cover it up.
Either way, she couldn't cover it up because it was happening. It was in the system. She tried to pretend like ain't got nothing to do with me. But there's also the issue is what's going on with no-knock warrants. There's a bigger issue out there. It's not just Miss Young. That's what I'm saying.
I agree with you. But what I'm also going to say is that right now the issue is not no-knock warrants is part of the police reform. That's part if they was doing the daggone consent decree, they'll be addressing that. Mm-hmm. But they failed on that.
Oh, okay. I agree with you.
So they failed on that.
Yes.
70%, they haven't met to 70% of that. So again, it rolls back up to the mayor's failure. Now, what you've got now is though, so on top of the 70% non-compliance with the consent decree, now you have this mayoral cover-up that the mayor wants to not let us think is a cover-up. Because again, this is Laquan McDonald. She cannot allow this to become Laquan McDonald, so she's got to inject to start. Y'all can't let this thing bubble up under the Laquan Act. Let it bubble up under the Kwame Raoul Act. Let it bubble up under the Kim Foxx Act. Let it bubble up under whatever act. But this cannot be seen as, and so now what you got to do is you got to insert your credible voices, right, into the mix. And then as the people are mobilizing and they're saying, yeah, we're going to get Mayor Lightfoot, or not Mayor Lightfoot, no more cover-up, 43 pleas and a cover-up. 43 pleas. We can't let that happen. We cannot allow that to happen. So what we have to do is get in front of this, co-opt it, put the bodies in front. The press goes here. So if you paid attention, nobody talked about the cover-up yesterday.
All right, Maze, you are 100% right? So while you've been talking, I just looked up a little bit of the coverage from the march to see, like, okay, how is this being spent? So I checked out a few different sources, and one of a pretty well-written article, I see a picture of Sister Zakiya, shout out to Sister Zakiya Muhammad, with a sign that says, Lori Lightfoot has got to go. And when I read this article, it's interesting because it's spent from, you can read it two different ways. And so the thing that I want to focus in on is this quote right here in this particular article that I'm reading from WTTW. So basically it starts off with, it says, blah, 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 right? Toward the middle of the page, it says, some people at the march called for the resignation of Mayor Lori Lightfoot amid claims that she had covered up the raid. Blah, 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 blah. Then it's quoting Sister Zakiya, which said, she did the same thing that Rahm Emanuel did with Laquan McDonald, said Zakiya Muhammad of Chicago. She had a blueprint, added Chicago resident Ivy Martinez, who also wants Lightfoot to resign. Others said Lightfoot's resignation is not the answer. I don't think that solves anything, said Karen Freeman Wilson, president of the Chicago Urban League. She's inherited a system that's broken. Thinking a system could be fixed overnight is wrong. You'd be sacrificing one black woman for another.
Hold on. This is the same place. No, don't.
I quit. I just
want to point out that's also the same place that Chewy held all of the Latino census meetings, right? I also want to point out that that's the same team that partnered up with the white agency to sell the Buy Black Christmas.
Oh, I think all these
Urban League,
everybody's compromised by the mayor.
But I told you, our institutions have become part of the institutions that's supposed to fight for us have now become woven into the system. They're baked into it. It's like,
but this is old stuff. This is how good the Mayor Daley's group was.
Right.
They were the ones who were so right.
Everything's
ours now.
Right, and I think, and then they got the right people who got just enough to be able to. I mean, we got the Urban League Gala. No, I'm saying we got the
y'all sometimes make me better. Y'all make me feel radical sometimes when I'm like, we just got to get rid of this whole system because we don't know who to trust. We've been co-opted. They pick us off and pay us off. How can we make advances in this system? The model that we have been using as black people, we can't use it no more because the people that's the guard of that model is the people that's getting paid off. Yes. And when you call that out, it make me feel like I'm unappreciative or that I don't have reverence for my elders. But I'm trying to tell y'all, generationally, y'all keep on doing us in. And then when we call it out and say, burn all this down, then we rebel rousing. Come on now, like, this is sickening. This makes me nauseous.
I'm going to tell you, that's the same. I have to express Ruthie's sentiment.
Oh, y'all young people disrespectful. Y'all ain't got no discernment. Y'all ain't got no discretion. Y'all ain't got no reverence.
I didn't say all of that.
Yeah,
I'm just that's how sometimes I'm made to feel when I look at the way that
look
these
at Lil
systems
Ron trying to get on the
are
mic.
co-opted.
No,
it's
the
sickening.
way I see it, and I may be a little askew because I'm older, is that when you don't have a foundation anymore, and the foundation is always young people, then the only support that you can get is from somebody who's got something.
No, what type of support is that? That's not support. That's co-option.
I'm gonna just tell you.
It's sickening.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm just gonna say this, and it's the challenge for me with this whole thing is watching it being done.
Like we stupid.
But here's the thing. In some cases,
this is all self-destruction, though. You know that.
But
right?
But it's they selling us out.
But it's like, hold on.
No, we're fighting among ourselves. That's our problem.
Hold on, but no, I gotta stop here. We aren't fighting amongst ourselves. What is happening?
I didn't mean us. I meant on the outside.
What is happening right now is there is a fight to show who can manipulate the black people the best. That is what's happening right now, right? So here's what you got. You got activists who don't really do politics, if that makes sense. You got activists that don't really do politics, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they want to be in the spirit of Kuji Jajalinga. They want to be unified. So they unify because there's a march happening and we going with it. Not realizing that they become the backdrop to sell the guys in the front story. Mm-hmm. Right? So all of the guys that don't talk on the microphone, who's standing there, who's in the press conference, you are giving tacit endorsement to the people talking at the mic. Because it says that we're with them.
Right.
And they are there to distract you from, and so when I got the most visible, willing to take action group standing behind this group of people who are really there to redirect us, when the people see it, what Jay-Z say, never argue with a midget because people from a distance can't tell who's different. Right? So essentially what happens is, like yesterday, Paul had me cracking up because, he'll call anybody out. But what was funny was he was literally pointing, like you could literally see who's with us, who's here to send us off. Mm-hmm. Right? And you got to ask yourself, when have any of these people, where's Anjanette Young in this? Like all of the people that was marching for her yesterday, right? Where is she in it? And it was interesting to me to see black men speaking in this space. Like sometimes I think like the camera is our biggest enemy. Because, and again, if you craft this, if you craft the press conference, like you know how when the white people do a press conference, like we do the press conference, we kind of show up. They put up the mics and then we put it up there. When you're planning a press conference though, you stage how it looks. You set it. You set for the image that you want to be presented to the people. And I don't know if we have mastered media and messaging. And so I think everybody, like, could you imagine standing up there and everybody saying, "No, we don't agree with Mayor Lightfoot"? Okay, y'all know I'm on the air. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back. Give me a break.
WIIFTBPM.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Check, 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 check. Do Oh, please, don't you rock my boat. 'Cause I don't want my boat to be right. Oh, please, don't you rock my boat. Oh, no, 'cause I don't want my boat to be right. I'm telling you just whoa, whoa, whoa. I like it like this. So keep this just like this. And you should know by now.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Man, y'all. So y'all gotta bear with me. If you did not hear me, rest in peace to my big brother, literally, Donnie Kirksey. Passed away. For those of y'all that know, Mr. Chicago, Mr. Teach Maze how to be a grown man in Chicago. Is the guy who showed me the game. Passed away. Goodness gracious. All right, y'all. So how do we deal with this? So I want to be clear. January 11th, Sister Helen Tyner, and we're going to have her come on air. They are, in the spirit of unity, yesterday, we're going to call that the precursor to 1,000 black women descending on City Hall. But I guess my question is, what made the politicians step up on this one?
Well, I mean, I do think their silence was deafening at some point. So I can understand them getting in with the optics.
They
had to say something. Otherwise, that would have been used against them too.
I'm concerned. Am I crazy with the co-op thing? Am I crazy? See, I feel like, because here's what's going to happen when I get off air. People going to say, Maze, you just hating. You just trying to be. And I promise you I'm not. I really just don't want those with pure intentions, even the people I don't get along with, who have pure intentions, who have righteous outrage in regards to this, and Jeanette Young. I don't want your righteous outrage to be leveraged to create an opportunity for somebody white. Or somebody black to become the new Negro conjurer. Right? Because this space, there is a historic space for a black woman in PR that when a white or mayor is in trouble with black people, actually it was all since we already only really had white mayors that I can remember, with the exception of Mayor Washington and Mayor Sawyer. In my grown life, the white mayors always had a black specialist, a PR specialist. And that person got a ton of contracts, but they were always on deck to mobilize the Negroes and to mobilize the cadre of Negroes when it was time to defend the white mayor. Perfect case. We lost a great one with that this year. Anytime Rahm needed to mobilize some black folks, he was putting black folks on the bus and wheeling them in. Right? Remember when Rahm was in trouble and respectfully, Desiree Tate organized 1,000 black women for Rahm? Remember the big dinner and everybody was down at the Hilton and all the black women took pictures and they was like, man, bust that. And it's like, because it was, let me tell you what it became. Laquan McDonald's death became the portal for black women to ascend in Chicago. No.
I would say a portal, because there's been other portals.
There's been other portals.
There's been other power vacuums.
But not for Rom. Laquan McDonald's death created let me tell you what. After Laquan McDonald's death, murder, think about how many black women got put on. Pay attention. Like, think about we saw all of these groups rise up. We saw black women this, black women that. Now you got black women all over the world. But it was because Laquan McDonald was murdered, and what had to happen was he could not lose black women. And so he deployed money, power, and resources. And what you saw was all of these black women start getting these powerful jobs, these titles. They ran colleges, universities, organizations, NGOs, whatever the hell it was. And what you then had was this new cadre of black women who saw nothing. They saw nothing. And then they were able to sell you on their success. And some of them were victims and didn't even realize it. Because then there were people who were tapped to be influencers and recruit black women, the influential black women in. The ones that could be guided, not the ones that were going to be out fighting. They didn't bring anybody in from the woods. They created a new black women establishment, or refortified it. Let me put it that way. Pay attention. During Rahm Emanuel's term, you saw the emergence of black girl groups that in my estimation were the selfie takers. We take selfies at all the big galas. We get invited to all the governor's balls. We get all of that stuff, but we really substantively bring nothing back. We're straight. You see them all walking around. You see them posting on Facebook. They're at everything, telling us it's all good. Where's the unstaged outrage? Where's our black elite bourgeois women? Not the old, because they not playing for this. Right now, there are some people playing for what I call the Desiree Tate slot, which is Desiree Tate was clear that she could impact black women and was able to leverage that. Mayor Lightfoot needs that now. And so what you're going to see over the next couple of weeks is combinations of people organizing, trying to do these actions in an effort to say, I'm the person that can get the black folks behind me. Pay attention. It's like, so if it's unity, you mean to tell me all them groups didn't know they was all getting together? It was a race to go first instead of a race to be together.
I agree with you, Mesa. When something, I mean, this is how you work when you want to control the narrative. If something's going on and you've got the people who can go and take over the group, then that's what you do. You send them, they take over the group, and then they control the message. And it sounds like that's what happened in this.
We got calls? Let's go to the live line. Who we got? Just go to the first call. Caller, you on the Mace Jackson Show.
Good morning.
Mace, you were talking about, the demonstration that are going on downtown. Okay, I can remember back, it was a while back, they had this thing about former mayor, Daley. He was over in Gary, working with a project with the mayor over there. And so I called one of my friends then, and I was saying, hey, you better watch out anytime Daley is over there involved in something. There's got to be, something underhanded going on. And so, the head of the Urban League, she was a mayor over there at the time. And she lost the last election. And the next thing, she popped up over head of the Urban League. And, and so that just show how things go and basically how, people just wind up selling out or, going along with the power structure as far as I'm concerned.
I think you got a point right there. I think that our major civil rights or legacy organizations have been co-opted. We're going to go straight through. Go ahead, Ron. Who else we got? Caller, you on the Mace Jackson Show. Turn that radio down. Caller? Caller? All right, go to the next call. Caller, you're on the Mace Jackson Show. Give me a name.
Hello.
Hey, caller, go ahead. Hello?
Mace Jackson?
Yes, this is Maze.
Yeah, hey.
What's up, Tyrone?
This is Tyrone Tate, man.
Oh, what's up, Tyrone? How you feeling, man? What's in it for the black people? What's in it for the black people?
Hey, I'm sorry you hear all that noise, man. I'm in my truck. I'm an air. I drive 18-wheeler, man. And I just had to call in, man, say my condolences to you and your brother, man, that you just heard the bad news. And I just want to say, man, I love you all there. Ruthie, Todd, Sonia, thank you for the encouragement, man. Thank you for playing my song on there, man. And you just really inspired a brother, man, to keep doing what I need to do, man. Thanks, man.
Man, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Tyrone, and we love the song. Let's go to the next call. We got called Ronald. Ronald, you on the Mace Jackson Show.
Hello?
Hello, Ron?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Brother Mace?
What's up, Ron? Is this Ron?
Yes, sir.
Ron, talk to me, man. What's going on?
How you? Big old.
Ron, how you doing, man? We know you just had a loss too, brother. And so hopefully you got that food and our condolences as well.
Oh, we did, and thank you so much. And all the prayers that came in gave me strength to endure this situation. But I'm slowly coming back to myself. But I wanted to talk about these no-knock warrants and why it seems to be such a mystery as to how to fix this. I like watching FBI stories and police stories and things of that nature on television. And the thing about it, I know it's TV, but they have a lot of realism in TV. And what I have noticed when they are, when they want to come in on a bunch of terrorists, they don't just go in and bust the door. They set up surveillance for days. And they make sure that the people that they want to get are in that particular place. And then they watch it for several days. They also somehow get listening devices inside to also hear what they are plotting and planning before they come in and, and just bust them. They already have evidence of everything that they need to imprison them. So I'm wondering why these no-knock warrants are done without any surveillance before they actually come in and bust the door down. I'm done.
Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate you, man. This is the Mace Jackson Show. We're going to take your calls. Let's go to D'Amico. D'Amico, you're on the Mace Jackson Show.
Hi, good morning, Mace. How are you?
All right, how are you?
Ruthie and Todd.
Good morning.
This is Tamiko Holt.
What's up, Miko?
Condolences to you and your family and your brother Sammy for your loss, right?
Thank you, dog.
Hey, listen. So the I heard your statement about the no-knock warrant and what your police officer friends told you. And what they didn't tell you is simple doing due diligence would stop a lot of that mistaken hitting doors with batarams and not fixing people's doors when you leave and tearing up their house and being disrespectful while you're there, even when you found out you made a mistake. That's number one. Number two, the difference between Miss Anjanette Young and anybody else that this happened to is technology. Technology and her will to not go away and not be threatened by whatever you're going to bring to her. Let's say that. And everybody that's getting up there now, what about the people that have been experiencing that? What about the people, their elders, you know what I'm saying, their grandmothers, their grandfathers, the house was torn up, that they hit the wrong door. Not they was looking for the grandsons, the granddaughters, none of that. That were torn up because they weren't supposed to be there. What about the people that come from the community that this is a normal, that nobody wants to talk about? Miss Anjanette Young name is just disappearing. I'm watching, like you said, the narrative just go away. This cuts deep for a lot of people because it's more stories. If they really let the stories really come out, her standing up there like she was on the Atlantic slave trade, it was very hurting, and it brought back, it dug up a lot of other feelings. When you was growing up and you see it going on, and you thought that because they were the police, that it was legal for them to do what they were doing because nobody knew their rights. Let's start talking about it all, but let's stop, you know what I'm saying, giving these people passes that has been doing us this way and that has been pretty much misleading us.
I'm with you on that.
Please. Let's stop giving them passes. That's what's wrong with us now. That's why we can't get together, because we want to keep thinking we need to be silent when we know that our own is doing us wrong. We can't keep doing it. We cannot keep doing it. I know we don't want disease, but come on, how are we supposed to get together and heal if we keep letting ourselves be abused by our own? Stop it.
Thank you, Miko. I'm gonna stop you right there because we gotta wrap up.
That was a good call.
Yeah, I'm a little off my square, so I'm gonna ask y'all to help me with the close here, cause
you know I got your back, my brother. I could have finished it. You could have left, and me and Todd would have held it down for you, Mace. But you know, it's kind of like when you realize that the stuff that your parents taught you wasn't right, or that they was wrong, or that they was foul, and it's so hard.
No Santa Claus,
or anything, and how difficult it is sometimes to confront people that you have been taught to love and respect and show reverence to. And at some point, you got to realize that the sins of your father can become your own if you ain't diligent. And so I think sometimes as we look toward like intergenerational unification, we have to not be afraid to call out and say, you know what, maybe the way we used to do that ain't finna work for us no more.
Yeah. Todd?
Well, I think there's two fights. I mean, there's the fight that, as always, the mayor's not in our corner. And I don't even know why we pretend like she doesn't come from our neighborhood. She didn't live the same life.
She's black?
Being black ain't enough. I mean, I know a lot of black people who are detached. She's going to support the people who support her where she comes from, and she comes from up north. So that's what we're going to get out of her. But there's also the system itself. You got to fight the system to change it.
Oh, really?
Like,
really?
You don't burn it. You
How do you change it if you don't? No, that's a whole. We ain't got.
How do you change it? Yeah, we don't got enough time.
We ain't got enough time. But you know what?
But you got to get inside the system.
But
to
you
make
know,
things happen.
It's some black women and some black men out there that got the right idea. So shout out to Sister Zakia who said, "Good morning, family. I had to come off my TuneIn app to say, don't worry, Maze. There's a group of us that are going to keep the pressure on Lori Lightfoot, regardless of what the rest of them are doing. So it's some people up in there. We just got to make sure that everybody don't get co-opted.
You know, there's three things that should be going on.
What?
The fight against inside the system to make things change, because you got to change things from the inside. You can't do it from the outside. And then there's got to be the fight against the mayor from ignoring what happens to us and pretending like it don't mean nothing.
And what's the last one?
The last one is there has to be organization to get somebody who's from your group as the mayor.
Okay.
I mean, what's the use of always fighting and we never put anybody in who can make a change?
Yeah, that's real talk. Hey y'all, man, my phone is blowing up because it's all over the country at this point. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson.
But I like to say, I'm glad there was an alpha man to help lead you, brother.
You know, shout out to the men of Alpha Phi Alpha. Thank you to everything that y'all did for Donnie Kirksey, because whatever y'all poured into him or whoever poured into him helped change my life.
Man,
so I'm not.
You have been saying nothing but good things about this person.
Man,
that's a man right there. So your head is high.
Man,
I want people to talk about me like that when I go on to glory.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, man, like that's, you know how you don't gotta talk to somebody every day,
right?
But you just know that they there. You know that you can call. You know that when the world is crazy.
I tell my wife that
brother literally.
I do.
That brother would literally stop, drop, and roll. I might not talk to him for you. I might avoid his call because I had to do something that I was supposed to do. And he'd be like, man, you ain't never got to not take my call because you didn't get it done. We bigger than that. And I'm really just messed up because I didn't take his call.
Don't hold it on your heart.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. So, for Maze and Sonia, who's not here, and Ruthie and Todd and Lil Ron, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said we'll be back tomorrow. We out of here. Peace.
WIFTBPM.